I was living in Ottawa at the time that I wrote this play called Democracy. And living in Ottawa, one is very aware of the gears and wheels and the mechanism of government. And you're around it every day. You're aware of it every day. So you're aware of the facts. You're aware of the hierarchy. You're aware of the way government works. But it's very easy to forget why government works in Ottawa, in probably in any national capital, possibly in any provincial, regional capital where there is a seat of government. It's easy to see the rules, regulations, how to shift gears, who works for whom, and so forth. But it's also, strangely enough, easy to forget. Well, what is all this in aid of? What's this to do? What is this meant to do? What are governments meant to do? And so I wanted to write a play that was about why do we have governments and what are they supposed to be doing? And my play Democracy actually happens in the United States during the American Civil War. So when part of one country had gone to war against another part of the country and had split into two governments. And in my imagination, what had happened at that time, and is always in danger of happening probably in a democracy, is you forget what the dream, what the vision was of your country, of your city, of your province, whatever. You forget what you meant to do, and you become exclusively involved in how you're going to do it. So it all becomes about mechanisms. And I wanted to have the famous American poet Walt Whitman, who was, many people feel, the ultimate poet of democracy, talk to his friend Ralph Waldo Emerson, the philosopher, about why do we go to war? Why do we grow food for people? Why do we have governments? And what is the nature of democratic government? What is a democracy? And of course, it's very basic. It's based on the Greek word for people, demos. It's about when enough people share the same dream, share the same vision, then they need to get together and put together a machinery that drives, that enables the dream. But if in putting together the machinery you begin to squabble with one another, and you begin to, the machine begins to break down because there's no fuel in the engine, and the fuel in the engine has to be what you wanted to do. So in a democracy, the fuel of any democracy is the dream of free people, of people who are free to pursue their own individual interests and so forth. It's not anarchy. They can't do anything they want to, but they have to find a way that although they don't overlap perfectly because every human being is different, they overlap in this central area, which is, I want you to be free as much as you want me to be free. It's important to you not just that you should be free, it's important to you that I should be free. Because then we're more interesting, we're more creative, we're more active, we enjoy life more. I will enjoy my life less if you enjoy your life less. And that, to me, is the principle, the way down deep poetic principle, if you like, of what a democracy is. It is that concern for the other so that you will have that concern for me, and the exchange is made, and we both come out as free individuals, you know? And it's something that the human species has struggled with from as soon as there was from as early as there was a human species, is how can we work together to provide freedom for each other without having to give up too much freedom in order to do that. You know, what is that equation? How can we do that? And I don't think the human species has solved that yet. There are places in the world, as we know right now today, that have given up too much freedom in order to try and buy themselves freedom. There are places in the world today, I think, that have that in a sense have too much individual chaotic freedom because they don't seem to be able to come together on in a compassionate dream of how we work to provide freedom for others. You know, part of why the most important part of why I write is to put freedom into your thought and into your life and into your spirit and into your emotions, to stimulate the freedom center, so to speak, in you, that imaginative place, that place where you come to see one of my plays and you go out a changed person, feeling more, thinking more, wanting more, ready to give more to life. And I think a great, you know, a truly beautiful society would be one where we were all getting that feeling of shared freedom from one another, but we're also all giving it to one another. You know, you can't just take it from the society. You can't just, you're not entitled to democracy, you're entitled to work on democracy.